Factors and Multiples Pre-Algebra Virtual Lab, Module 2. The objective of this lab is to identify factors and multiples of numbers of various size square grids to defeat your opponent. Each number selected on your turn adds to the total number of points achieved as long as factors of that number remain. And here's the link we'll be looking at. As I scroll down through the document, remember that you do have some pre-lab questions you want to look at. And I'm going to read through each procedure step by step and then demonstrate the procedure on the respective website. So step 1, click on the link and choose the number of players, either 1 or 2. Step 3, begin with the 4x4 grid. Step 4, read through the game rules. A. Player 1 chooses a number on the game board by clicking on it. The square will be colored blue and as shown for 12. Player 1 receives 12 points for this choice. B. Player 2 or the computer then clicks on all the proper factors of player 1's number. The proper factors of a number are all the factors of that number except for the number itself. For example, the proper factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. Although 12 is also a factor of 12, it is not considered a proper factor. All of the proper factors of that player 2 or computer selects will be colored red. Player 2 or the computer will receive 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 6 for a total of 16 points for selecting all of the proper factors. C. Players reverse roles. On the next turn, player 2 or the computer colors a new number and gets that many points, and player 1 colors all the factors of the number that are not already colored and receives the sum of those factors and points. D. The players take turns choosing numbers and coloring factors. E. If a player chooses a number with no uncolored factors remaining, that player loses a turn and does not get the points for the number selected. F. The game ends when there are no numbers remaining with uncolored factors. G. The player with the greater total when the game ends is the winner. Step 5. After playing in the 4x4 grid, record your results in calculations number 1. Step 6. Change the size grid to be 5x5. Play the game and record your results in calculation number 2. You can repeat through that process until you get to step 9, where you change the grid size to 8x8 and play the game and record your results in calculations number 5. Scrolling on down, here's our calculations numbered 1 through 5. And you can see there's the certain grid numbers. So I'll focus here on the first one, the 4x4 grid. And the information we're going to need will be your score, your player 1. So you'll type your score here. You'll type your last move here and the factors that you used. You'll also record the player 2 or the computer, their last score, their last move, and the factors used. Let me click on the link and demonstrate these steps on the actual website. When I click on the link, it opens up the website for the NCTM Illumination Factors game. And here's the game board. Scroll here. Okay. Just to point out, below the game board are the instructions that I just read to you in detail. And for teachers or educators, you also have exploration questions and objectives or standards if needed for particular lesson plans. For the players, you can select either one player, which is the default. If you're playing with another student within your classroom or whatever your situation is, you would click on the circle next to the 2 players, and you can see it says player 1 and player 2. You can edit the names. So if you want to type your name in, click on the pencil, and you can change the name of player 1 to your name as well as player 2. I'm going to play with one player, which means player 2 will automatically be the computer. And I'm going to keep the name player 1. I'm not going to type my name in. While we're here, I'll also talk about the rows and columns. Right now we're set for the directions, which say we're going to play with a 4x4 grid. If I move this slider over, you can see I change a number of rows and columns appropriately. We're going to keep each one a square. So as we go through, we'll make sure we have a square for each one, not a rectangle. And the information we need for the calculation section is also given here. So it says player 1 choose a number. And like the directions said for the example, I'm going to choose 12. When I select 12, you'll see my score will be 12. The computer's going to select all the factors of 12. So the computer's going to select 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, which will have a sum total of 16. So you'll see the score here for the computer to be 16. Let's go ahead and do that. So there's my score, 12. The computer select the factors to get a 16. And then the computer went ahead and picked its number, which was 15. So you'll see the computer score jumped up to 31 because it adds up 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 15 for a score of 31. My job is to pick all the factors of 15 that haven't already been selected. Now the factors of 15 are 1, 3, and 5. 1 and 3 have already been selected, so I'm going to select 5. And when I do, you'll see my score is going to jump up to 17. So there's my score, 17. I click OK, and now it says for me, player 1, choose a number. So I'm going to click 13. Now I'm purposely going to click 13 so you can see what happens if I make a bad pick. The factors of 13 are 1 and 13. However, 1 has already been selected, so it's going to say I lose a turn. I click on 13, and see it says no available factors. I lose a turn. I don't get any points, so I just click OK, and now it's going to be the computer's turn again. The computer clicks 14, and notice that 14 was added to the computer score. Well, the only factor left for me is 7. That's the only one I could pick because 1 and 2 are already chosen. So I pick 7. 7 points are added to my score. I click OK. And now it's my turn to pick a number. I'm going to pick 16, which is going to add 16 to my score. And then the only thing left for the computer is to pick is 8. So 8 will get added to the computer score. And it says here, nice try, player 1, but the computer won this time. I click OK. So we notice that my score is 40. My last move is 16. And all my factors are the ones in blue. Okay, factors used will be here. So it's 5, 7, 12, and 16. Those are the factors I used. The computers or factors are the ones in red. This right here, factors used, is just for the last move. But on the score sheet, record all the factors that you used. So I go here to the score sheet or lab sheet. I guess the lab sheet kind of functions as a score sheet. And I had 40 points. My last score, my last move was picking 16. And the factors that I used were 5 and 7, 12, and 16. Okay, and you would do the same thing for computer. Okay, write down the computer score, the last move, and the factors used. So make sure you do that for player 2 or the computer. Going back to the website, now we're ready for a new game. So I click on new game. I move my slider over to 5 for both the rows and the columns, and I repeat that process. One final note about the lab sheet. At the bottom, after you complete this round all the way up to an 8x8 grid, you have 4 conclusion questions which analyze your results from the game and extend it to anything you may have learned while you were playing this game. And that is the brief tutorial on how to successfully complete this lab sheet using the NCTM website. I'll talk to you again on my next tutorial video.